Okay, hello everyone. As you know, I'm Isla from Dual Core Studio, just checking if everything is working fine, and from what I can see, yes it does. So today's stream will be a bit different. As you might have seen from the title and from the announcement on Facebook and Twitter, this will be our last stream, kinda, at least for now. So this will just quick explanation to all of you who won't be watching the entire video, so just first 1 or 2 minutes. Let me explain. So, and then if you're not interested, you can just go ahead and check other videos which you are interested in. Okay, so basically right now I'm having a lot of, I would say, not trouble, but a lot of things to do, a lot of projects which I'm having a bit of trouble to keep up with all of that, plus the YouTube videos and tutorials I'm working on for a Udemy course. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna stop streaming these Sunday streams, so for free pixel art assets. I will be streaming occasionally for fantasy RPG, for like stuff I do there, like any pixel art animations, and maybe even another background stream. So streams won't stop entirely, but streams for free pixel art will stop for the time being. So apart from other projects, one of which you guys are gonna love, because Mario and I decided to rework the Pixamid game entirely based on your feedback. So thank you guys, thank you everyone for your feedback. We'll be creating combat system within that game, creating a a richer story, so to speak, and we'll be focusing more on the combat than on the platforms themselves. Also new graphics will be made, and more info on that will come in August or even September. We'll see when everything is finished, or should I say the new design will be finished. Then we can present it to you guys and see what you have to say. Okay, so apart from free pixel art streams that will stop, like I said, I might continue doing free pixel art asset streams later on in the year, but for the next 2 months, at least 2 months, I will be stopping these Sunday streams. So no free pixel art assets will be made in the next 2 months for sure. It was a nice ride. I have, let's see, I have 36 videos from the streams, around 50 hours of stream free pixel art assets. I made lots of stuff. Some things might be useful, some things might not be useful, etc. So I'm kind of sad that I have to stop doing these streams, but I just don't have the time for them. So today, since we are doing isometric pixel art, I'll try to create a simple character, really simple character, where I will explain in this video the basics, how you should go with the design of that character, right? Regarding in isometric view. So yeah, hope that works out fine. So now I'll start this actual stream regarding the making isometric asset, which will be a character. So yeah, to summarize quickly, no free pixel art assets stream in the next 2 months. We are recreating the Pixamid to a more combat system game, which takes some ideas from even Dark Souls, but you'll see. So plus that, there will be an occasional stream, which as usual, I will announce on Facebook and Twitter, so be sure to follow us there, for fantasy RPG. Okay, so that's the explanations. Now we can go and start doing the character. Like I said, really simple one. And let's see, so okay, so the last time I believe we made this simple house, so let's continue, but with the character. I will be uploading this entire PSD document as well as this in PNG, so people can actually use it if they want to. It will be available on Google Drive, which will be down in the description. It's always been there, so if anyone uses it for their own games, I'm quite happy for that. Okay, so apart from Udemy course which I'm creating for pixel art beginners and intermediate users of pixel artists, I will also be creating assets, game assets, 2D game assets, both pixel art and the actual 2D for like raster graphic and vector graphics. But those assets will be charged, so they will cost few dollars, not too much, but yeah. Okay, so I will need a grid and time to start explaining our character design. So the thing that you should keep in mind when designing a character in isometric view is its size in comparison to buildings and other environment stuff in the game. So my character, if I go ahead and blindly, I'll just use my pencil tool and blindly make him, so let's see, just a second. Oh, it's the color, and I just randomly make him like this big, which kind of might be like okay at a certain glance. Again, this is just the shape. I'm not interested in creating a character, just to prove the point. And if I just create a character like this and then move it somewhere else, you can see he's a giant. Okay, he's bigger than the doors themselves. So what I did in one of the first streams is I decided for the character height, and you can see it's this over here. And when I go to the door, you can see that the height of the character is less than the doors themselves. So how should you go about designing a pixel art character in isometric view? Usually you would want to go with at least 4 directions, so up and down, left and right. But in most cases, I mean, that's the bare minimum in 4 directions, but I would suggest you going into 8 directions, so up and down, left and right, and all the diagonals. So how should you go about it? Let me just decrease the volume. All right. So that's the height of our character. We can see it's exactly 2 of these. So the front view will be actually pretty simple. It's like straight on view. Of course, it's angled a bit from the top, so the head should be a bit bigger. Again, it depends on design, but the head should be a bit bigger than a completely front view like for the platformers. And the legs should be less visible, etc. Okay, so like I said, just a simple design. So we know it's 25 pixels of height, which is gonna be important. Okay. Okay, so I won't be doing an entire character on this stream. It takes a lot of time to design a character that goes in 8 directions, but I will show you how to be careful of how you place the character on each of the diagonals. So something quite simple. I'll just go ahead and do again nature noise that's outside. His head might be a bit too big. And let's put like 2 eyes just to indicate in which direction he's looking at. Okay, so this is going to be just our template character, so I can explain how you should go with designing. Again, these are the principles that I'm trying to convey, and you can use those principles from simple shapes to extremely and highly detailed characters. As well as this principle apply not only to pixel art, but they as well apply to 2D art, so the raster graphics and the vector graphics as well. Not to 3D, because 3D obviously works in a different way, but for 2D it should be just fine. Okay, so let me just delete this guy. Okay, so first things first, what you should start with is the position of the legs. I can hide this. Alright, so this guy is our front view. Now the back view, or well, this is the front view, meaning he's going down, you'll be able to see his face. However, if he goes up, it's quite simple. You can just, of course, if he has a cape or something else, obviously he will need a different design, different approach. But up and down, left and right are really simple to do. So if we want to go left or right, of course we need to design our character to go in those directions as well. So let's take this one. Let's say here he wants to go left. Now when he goes left, of course if I shaded this character properly, you will be able to see the volume of his chest and or the belly and arms and head, etc. However, since I haven't done that, he's just the basic shape without shadows. So the side view will go like this. I can actually take half of his body again, you want to be careful that the height is the same wherever he goes. So if we have the line for his height, we should follow that height in all directions. So even if he goes left, we should be able to recognize it. So I'm just gonna do the arms in a different color again. Yes. Okay, why? Simply because now I can put them over here. Again, be sure they're the same length. So these are his arms. Now, of course, the head should be of a different shape. You can even take this entire head and try to just replicate it. However, the shape from the front view and the side view is pretty much the same. Hell no. Sorry, but it's not the same. It's completely different. Because from the side view you can see that the length of the head is much wider than it is on the front view. So his head can even go a bit further away, but this isn't realistic character, so we don't have to be a realistic. Same thing applies to his body. So now we can create a bit of shape for his body, and that can be our like starting point for everything else. Alright, so he's looking the left. The right is pretty simple. If the character isn't symmetric, meaning that the left and the right side, if they are the same, so if the oh hello Vic, it's gonna be a bit shorter. I'm gonna repeat on the end of the stream why this will be the last stream. I already said it in the beginning, but I'm gonna repeat it just in case on the end. Let's move on. So if the character is if the design is symmetrical, so if the left and the right side of the character are the same, you can just take the same position and just flip him horizontally. However, if for example he isn't symmetrical, so let's say he has like a scar on his that's his left eye, so obviously the scar would go here but wouldn't go here. So be sure to be careful when you design your characters and the way you design them. Okay, so moving on. The next thing we need to do is, and this is the hardest part usually when you do this for the first time, and that's creating the diagonal view. So, well, diagonals in between a left and down, so left down, not sure. Anyways, so one of the things you can do is, let me just, so we already know the height of our character and how it should be. Now the good thing is you can follow these lines over here for placement of his legs. So I'm just gonna put him a bit further down. Okay. Now, obviously, something is wrong here. I mean, apart from the thing that I didn't shade him, so he doesn't have this belly volume. So, two things. The way this specific pixel art grid is set up is, you can see that we have 2 pixels in width and then 1 in height. That means that whatever we create it's basically 2 to 1 ratio, so 2 to width, 1 to height, and we should try to follow that when we created the character. I mean, you should follow it, you don't have to, but it's okay to follow it. So if it's only 1 hour, the character's not gonna be animated. No, unfortunately not. This stream is just gonna be to explain how to design the character in isometric view, because I won't be streaming this like in the next few months. I'll explain it again at the end, so be patient. This will take around 5 to 10 minutes to explain, maybe max, and then I'll explain everything, so you don't have to worry too much. Yeah, alright, so I did place his legs on this line. However, like I said, 2 to 1 ratio. So I can actually do this in 2 ways. I can leave it like so in order to keep the legs, I mean the position between legs is obviously the same at front and back view and this diagonal view. However, from the side view you can see just one straight line. So if it's something diagonal, it's obvious it should go somewhere in like halfway through. However, since this pixel art grid isn't well, actually it is in a 45-degree angle, we can just have that. And is it in 45? Yeah, it is 45 degrees. Anyways, you can just have the length of the position of the legs. So let me show you what I mean. Alright, so we can count the pixels. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 in between, so we know we can cut 2 out. 1, 2. However, we need to put this on this line over here, so we can have our isometric view character. Of course, you will need to recreate the character in such a way. Of course, now I would usually try to of course I would shade in this design so he actually looks, he has volume. So currently he doesn't. Okay, one more thing that you should try to be aware of is the arms. So I can just turn off the grid. So if you can obviously see him from this side, you shouldn't be able to see this part of the arm, so it should go around here. Again, it's all up to your design how you do it, but keep in mind, just try to keep in mind that how you designed, you need to be able to think how the body would look in that specific direction. So here it's only important to try to get the position of the body correctly, so his middle line, so to speak, where he looks, should be aligned properly. So again, now I can take this same part and I can just copy paste it. Again, if your grid is on different let's say if it's on different angles, so if you're not using 2 to 1 ratio, you're maybe using 3 to 1 ratio or 4 to 1, not sure why we'd use that, but anyways, so based upon your angle of your pixel art grid or any isometric grid, you need to be aware of how to position your character. So in my case, it's really good practice to use 2 to 1 ratio because it's easy to scale up. You don't have some type of jaggies and stuff like that if you're using pixel art. Now, one thing, you can see that from the side view he has a belly, so obviously the belly would even probably hide his arm, as you can see from this. He has huge chest and huge belly, so we can have the design like so. Of course the head shape etc could be better, but anyways, so I can just use this one and flip it horizontally, and again I will get the same view. Again, this can be applied only and only to symmetrical designed characters, so the left and right side, if they are completely the same, you can use this technique. Otherwise, do not use it, or use it sparingly and then fix everything after that. All right, so we have only two more directions left, and that's gonna be up left and up right, like diagonals to the upper part. Again, the same thing, it's gonna be now. I'll use this one as an example. If I erase these and erase this one, okay, now I need the arms. You will obviously be able to see his arm. Again, try to keep the proportions and the positions the same, so it will probably go here. So that's one arm, and the other arm you probably won't be able to see. Maybe just the shoulder itself, and that's about it. So this is obviously for the up right direction. You can obviously can just copy paste this one, flip it horizontally if it's symmetrical design, and you have the top left one. So that's kind of those are kind of the basics. Now I'm probably gonna create isometric view tutorials, not on stream, but tutorials like the video tutorials themselves in future. But for now, these basics we'll just have to do. I just quickly explained it, how you can go about designing your character. Now the animation is something else. You need to master walk animation and run animation. In this type of games, the walk animation can be the hardest thing to do. You have plenty of tutorials on walk animations, how to do them if your character is side view, like in platformer, so like this leg goes here and there, etc. However, walk and run cycles are different in front view, they are different on diagonal view, etc. So that will be a good practice for you guys if you are beginners, so you can try to figure out how to animate. I do believe that there should be some tutorials out there how to do isometric pixel art run cycles and walk cycles, but yeah. Also, you can apply this this isometric art for RPG games, like action RPG games. So if you wish to add attacks and stuff like that, you can always do that. All right, so Vic, thank you for patience. Anyway, so this will be the end of the stream. I already said this on the beginning of this video, blah, blah, blah. But if you watch the beginning, you don't have to watch now. It will be pretty much the same things. So what's gonna happen? All right, so a few things are gonna happen. Number one, first I like to give the reason so you can actually understand why this is happening. So the reason is I have a lot of projects going on, like a bunch of them, or actually few projects which require a huge amount of my attention and my time. So I won't be able to do these streams, even though it's just 1 hour. It kind of, I mean, my workflow is kind of screwed up for 2 hours, and I have to think about stream, which kind of drains my mental energy, so to speak. So in order to finish those projects on time, I will be stop streaming. However, I'll stop streaming only these free pixel art assets for the time being. So that's number one. No more streams for free pixel art assets, at least for the next 2 months. After that, we can come back and maybe finish this isometric view. We'll see. But until then, it's gonna be no streams. I will stream occasionally, however, for pixel art, like animations, like I did for Fantasy RPG, their background, their animations. I will probably be doing those occasionally, maybe once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks. So we will still be able to hang out occasionally again. And after those few projects are finished, then I can come back and start streaming regularly again. So until then, it's gonna be a bit tight. Also, I'm going on a survival camp for 10 days from, I believe it's 22nd of July this month, right? So in 2 weeks I'm leaving and I won't be here for 10 days, so that's gonna take a chunk of my time as well. So that's number one. And actually number two. So no free pixel art streams, but yes, normal streams for Fantasy RPG. And the third one, which probably is again, in my opinion, it's probably the best thing. Mario and I decided to redesign Pixamit completely, so it's not gonna be just a platformer, and you guys gave us great feedbacks, so thank you for that. We openly receive any critique, any suggestions, anything you would guys like to see. So the few things we are gonna change, we're gonna make this platformer into more of an action platformer. So it's gonna have combat and it's gonna focus on the combat system extensively. So our focus is on the gameplay mechanics and how much you can enjoy fighting. We took some ideas from the Dark Souls, so like fighting system like parry, block, critical hits, hitboxes and stuff like that. I mean, we didn't copy it from the Dark Souls, but we kind of took the idea of the combat system, how they use it, and try to adapt it in 2D platformers. So that should be actually a great game. We will announce it in August or beginning of September with new design, and hope you guys then like it. Of course, it will take a lot of time and energy to finish that game, but like I said, don't start the project unless you can finish it. We will also be creating a crowdfunding campaign for that project, for like audio and stuff like that. Since I personally, I do know a little bit of game music, but I cannot even be called a beginner since I'm not really good at it. So we would like to hire an audio designer and music designer technician, so they can fill that gap in. So we will be creating crowdfunding campaign. We won't ask for too much. However, if the interest of the community is big enough, we can actually hire an extra developer or an extra artist to speed up the game development, to create better game, etc. So like Castle Crasher, I'm not sure, let me just Google Castle Crasher. I wasn't able to like play the games in last few months, unfortunately. Let's see. Castle Crusher. Castle Crusher. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so I haven't played Castle Crusher, so I'm not sure. Okay, so from what I can see on Google Images, that's a multiplayer. So our game won't be multiplayer based. It's gonna be single player. It's gonna have a story. So, like I said, it will it will take some elements of Dark Souls, like the principles, and some elements from other games, and some of our original ideas, of course, we will implement into the game, and hopefully something beautiful comes out. So the combat system will be like, let's say you have one enemy, let's say a mummy, and the mummy attacks you. So you'll be able to kill that mummy in several different ways. You'll be able to burn it, you'll be able to hit its head, blow his head off, you'll be able to rip off the body, you can cut off the legs so the mummy cannot move anymore. So you'll be able to kill the same enemy on several different ways, and you can pick and choose whichever you like the most and whichever battle system suits you the most. As well, the bosses in the game will have like in Dark Souls, they will announce their attack before they actually do the attack. Some you will be able to block, some you won't be able to block. So it's gonna be quite a difficult game. So we want to create a hard game, but we want to make it enjoyable. So I'm quite thrilled to be able to develop these games. So hopefully it's gonna be fun. However, if the community doesn't like the idea of this for some reason, we might put the project on hold. We'll see, but I think the community should like stuff like that. And you can always find us here on YouTube, which is a great idea. Some developers, you have hard time contacting them, so you can find us always on social media. You can find us on YouTube, you can find me on stream and stuff like that. So yeah, that's gonna be it. So to summarize, number one, no more streams for free pixel art assets, at least for the next 2 months. 2, I will do occasional streams for fantasy RPG animations and maybe backgrounds again, we'll see. And third, Pixamid is getting completely new redesign, so it will come with new graphics, with combat system, with emphasis on combat system. So yeah, those are the 3 things that are hopefully good. So it has been a nice ride doing around 50 hours of stream over the course of 40 videos, 36 I believe it was. So yeah, okay, so that should be it. I will be posting, I'll try to make at least one tutorial here and there for pixel art. I do have some of them prepared for Udemy course, I don't have them for the YouTube, so I'll try to create some of them like for free on YouTube, so you can check them out. So yeah, okay guys, so that's gonna be it for today. Thank you all for coming. Big thank you for hanging out with me. I hope I'll see you again. One more time, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, because there I will announce my streams before I begin streaming them. And of course, we will be more active on Twitter once we start the Pixamid crowdfund campaign, so we can always keep our patrons, I would say patrons, right? Yeah. So our backers, patrons, we'll try to keep them updated, hopefully daily, or at least like once a week, so they know what's happening. Okay, so again, thank you for coming. That's gonna be all for today and for the time being. It was a great pleasure hanging out with you guys, and I hope we'll do the same. So in the for 2 to 3 months. Okay, that's all for now. Until next time, see ya later.